Good evening. Welcome to the July 19th edition of the Downers Grove Village Council meeting. Whether you're here in council chambers or watching at home, we thank you for joining us. As is our custom, we'll begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Rosa, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Barnett,
Here.
Commissioner Jose,
Here.
Commissioner Wallace, Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit,
Here.
Commissioner Culvaney,
Here.
Commissioner Gilmartin,
Here.
Commissioner Glover.
Here.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. Commissioner Jose is a little under the weather, so he's joining us remotely. Is there a motion to allow electronic participation?
Mayor, I move to allow electronic participation for the July 19th, 2022 Village Council meeting as presented.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Rosa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit,
Aye.
Commissioner Culvaney,
Aye.
Commissioner Glover,
Aye.
Commissioner Gilmartin,
Aye.
Commissioner Jose,
Aye.
Mayor Barnett.
Aye. That motion passes unanimously. Public comments portions of our agenda are important and valued parts of each council meeting. There are provisions in the agenda for such input at each active or first reading agenda item, as well as later at an open item not specific to an agenda topic. Beyond tonight's meeting, there are a variety of additional opportunities to engage council members, including our e-remark system, the CRC system, coffee with the council, direct email, or by phone. Every one of your council members spends time in person off this dais, making themselves available to residents and businesses across the community. Those one-on-one conversations are often the most valuable. The public comment opportunities tonight are intentional parts of a structured meeting and offer an opportunity to deliver comments to the council. Please remember it is not a debate nor is it an open question and answer session. As such, when we get to those points of the meeting, we do have some expectations on how they'll be handled. Please state your name for the record. Please keep comments to 5 minutes or less. Avoid repeating what others have already said. Please keep your comments to one visit to the podium per subject. And please know that comments are most effective when they focus on subjects within the scope of Downers Grove governance. If you forget to mention something or additional conversation brings up a new idea, please hold off until after the meeting or use one of the other contact methods to contact us as needed, or bring that new comment to our next meeting. Item 3 on our agenda tonight is the minutes of previous council meeting. Is there a motion concerning those minutes?
Mayor, I move to approve the Village Council meeting minutes from July 12th, 2022 as presented.
Second.
Any comments or questions about those minutes? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously. Greg, were you able to weigh in on that?
Yes, Mayor, I did give an eye on that.
I apologize. With this remote, we probably should just go ahead and do an individual roll call. We'll continue that through the balance of the meeting. Item 4 is our consent agenda. Our consent agenda has been modified. Item G on the consent agenda will be moved to the active agenda tonight. Is there a motion concerning the modified consent agenda?
Mayor, I move to approve the consent agenda with item G removed as presented.
Second.
All those in... oh, man, hopefully I'm trainable. Rosa, would you please call the roll on this motion?
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit,
Aye.
Commissioner Culvaney,
Aye.
Commissioner Glover,
Aye.
Commissioner Gilmartin,
Aye.
Commissioner Jose,
Aye.
Mayor Barnett.
Aye. That motion passes unanimously. Item 5 is our active agenda. This is the portion of the meeting where we plan to take action tonight on items previously discussed. They may have been discussed last week or multiple times prior. So we'll start with the motion removed from the consent agenda. Is there a motion concerning proceeding with all obligations on the general bond issuance?
Mayor, I move to authorize staff to proceed with the completion of all obligations in connection with the issuance of general obligation bonds, Series 2022, including the execution of all required documents and payment of all required fees in connection therewith.
Second.
Are there any comments or questions from the audience on this item? Comments or questions from the council on this item? Rich, please.
Yeah. I actually asked to have this taken off of the consent agenda. I think it's a significant importance to our residents to understand what we have to do to earn our AAA bond rating. And we did find out in individual briefings, I think it was a couple months back, how that worked. And it seemed intriguing to me that about 50% of our bond rating is due to our own activities within Downers Grove. And I thought it'd be useful if the village manager could offer some expansion, if you'd like to, Dave, on the things that are outside of our control.
Sure. There's a 7-category system that S&P Global Ratings uses to assign a financial rating, and they have a variety of ratings that can be bestowed, AAA down to B. These several categories, as I said, to do that, each with their own weighting system. We have direct control of about half of the score on management, budgetary flexibility, budgetary performance, and liquidity, basically the management and finances of our village. But half of the score is based on things beyond our control, including the general economy, institutional framework, and a category called debt and contingent liabilities. Those last two, institutional framework and debt and contingent liabilities, really speak to the general practices and the overall financial condition of our state. And so it's great that the state has improved its own bond rating in the last couple of years, but S&P Global Ratings still does not really look favorably upon those two categories for any municipality within the state. So it's very difficult to achieve top scores in that arena. So in summary, half of the points on the rating we control directly, and half of them are more dependent on things like the state of Illinois.
And how do you, ask for an editorial comment, how do you feel about our performance and the things that we can't control?
So, you know, we pride ourselves on financial sustainability. We work very hard, and oftentimes that's reflected in our bond rating. When we were issued our last bond rating report in February 2020, we set out to improve upon the areas we could do so. Since our last bond rating, we have achieved surplus general fund budgets in 2019, 2020, and 21, and we're on track again to do that in 22. We did respond successfully to the pandemic. I'm sure everybody remembers our COVID-19 financial response plan, where we significantly reduced expenses, and we did end up obtaining almost $7.5 million worth of state and federal grants. On the more technical side, we have addressed a liability that was accruing, other post-employment benefits, or OPEB liabilities. In 2019, we created an OPEB trust fund. We've been funding that OPEB trust ever since. We also, during this time since our last rating, have increased the funded ratio of both of our public safety pensions, police and fire. We have enhanced a few revenue sources. Food and beverage tax rate went up, and also we receive additional federal dollars through ambulance fee revenue by participating in a GEMT program. And finally, the last improvement that we made during that time frame is, you may recall, we retired the downtown tax increment financing district. But more importantly, from the rating standpoint, we paid off the bonds that were associated with that TIF district. So the staff feels we've made improvements in all of the areas. We are hopeful that that's reflected in our bond rating call coming up tomorrow. But you never know with these things. It's a pretty trying economy in general, and we anxiously await any of the ratings that are coming our way.
Thank you, Dave.
Any other comments or questions from council? Rose, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit?
Aye.
Commissioner Colavani?
Aye.
Commissioner Glover?
Aye.
Commissioner Gilmartin?
Aye.
Commissioner Jose?
Aye.
Mayor Barnett?
Aye. That motion passes unanimously. Is there a motion concerning amending sections of Chapter 14?
Mayor, I move to adopt an ordinance amending sections of Chapter 14 of the Municipal Code concerning traffic control provisions at certain intersections as presented.
Second.
Any comments or questions from the audience on this item? Comments or questions from the council?
Just a quick comment.
Please.
I just want to thank the residents who brought some of these controls and desire to have these stop signs put into our attention, as well as staff's willingness and ability to take a look at these and make what I believe are good decisions. I plan on supporting this. Thank you.
Thank you. Others? Rosa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit?
Aye.
Commissioner Colavani?
Aye.
Commissioner Glover?
Aye.
Commissioner Gilmartin?
Aye.
Commissioner Jose?
Aye.
Mayor Barnett.
Aye, that motion passes unanimously. Is there a motion concerning the extension of a special use?
Mayor, I move to adopt an ordinance authorizing the extension of special use ordinance number 5817 to permit an accessory parking lot use before the principal use is established at 3131 Finley Road to July 7th, 2023, as presented.
Second?
Any comments or questions from the audience on this item?
What's the special use for? Sorry. What's the special use for?
It's for the use of a parcel as a parking lot without the establishment of a principal use. Generally speaking, we don't let people just build parking lots unless they are a special use. We want them to be associated with another primary principal use on the parcel.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the audience? Council comments or questions? Rich?
Yeah, this one is going to be easy for me to vote yes. It just make common sense. You had a large property that was purchased by a commercial real estate company, and they've yet to get a tenant, but that was one of the big draws in being able to do this. And certainly we all understand with so many people working from home, the rationale for that. So the extension makes perfect sense, and I intend to vote yes.
Others? Rosa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit,
Aye.
Commissioner Cullivaney,
Aye.
Commissioner Glover,
Aye.
Commissioner Gilmartin,
Aye.
Commissioner Jose,
Aye.
Mayor Barnett.
Aye. That motion, too, passes unanimously. As the end of our active agenda, item 6 is our first reading. This would be the portion of the meeting where we would take up subjects anew or continued conversations on subjects we weren't going to act on, but we do not have any first reading items tonight. So item 7 is public comments portion of our meeting. This is the portion of the meeting where we take public comments on items not on tonight's agenda. So if you've got some for us, come on down to the podium.
Somebody shared some information with me. I'm kind of excited about it. I found out that Popeye's Chicken is coming to town. They've got a contract pending to buy some property. It's supposed to be in zoning right now. That kind of stuff inspires me. Besides the leather rice. But the other thing that I was excited about is I have an existing office in Palos Hills that I do conduct business in. And I'm also in the process of, within the next couple of weeks, getting occupancy in an office in Downers Grove. And since I'm in the process of doing that and I make it known that I'm here to a lot of people, especially commercial people, I was just contacted by another real estate company, developers, and they actually liked my idea that I was trying to do a couple months ago. I have probably 3 different media groups that I'm connected with, from newspapers to radio to television. They kind of merge, they buying each other out, or, grouping it together makes it easier to survive this economy. So today I started negotiating with the retail section, which I'll be talking to Mr. Sandman about doing a newspaper type classic situation like a stand, because I have one newspaper group that's in 35 states, thousands and thousands of newspapers. Not only do I plan on bringing the ability of them papers, because they already have that network going, but having Downer Grove go into their papers and continue the pride that I have in the city. Nice to see you all again.
Thank you. Others, comments not on tonight's agenda?
Good evening. George Swimmer, 7041 Creekside Road, a member of the DuPage Railroad Safety Council for almost 30 years. The Belmont underpass probably took about 20 years from initial planning to finish. I was involved in the whole process. Downers Grove spent about $30,000 in direct cost. I believe the total cost was over $50 million. Downers Grove has a history of far too many train accidents. A TV segment called The 10 Worst Train Accidents featured a video of a lady being struck at Fairview. Good Sam is our level 1 trauma hospital. Time is of an essence in getting someone to the hospital. It is not only about saving a life, it is about the quality of life. I saw that firsthand with my wife's stroke. She was airlifted to Lutheran General from Good Sam. It took about 3 hours. She had received a solution to break up the clot and then surgery. Her window for a successful outcome was about 3 hours. So she just made it within that 3-hour period. She is doing well today. Ambulance and other vehicles are often stopped at the Main Street tracks. I had an office at 4905 Main Street for about 20 years. I would see on the average of 5 to 6 ambulances rushing to the hospital on a daily basis, sometimes less, sometimes more. Not only from Downers Grove, but from other communities south of the tracks. That was over just an 8-hour period. I used to collect money for the Lions Club on Candy Day. I would always take the Main Street by Starbucks. Cars would back up to and past Franklin during rush hour. The gates were down at rush hour about 25% of the time. Raise the track bed and create an underpass without changing the street grade. This was planned for about 80 years ago in Downers Grove. That is how trains travel through Lisle, Naperville, and other areas. About 200 trains a day pass through Downers Grove. They are getting longer and slower. Surely there will be more Metra trains with all the residential building near the tracks. Planning should begin now. The more construction near the tracks, the more difficult it will become. It is doable, I know it is. Downers Grove should not remain in the Stone Ages when it comes to public safety. Thank you.
Other comments not on tonight's agenda? Okay, seeing none, we will continue with the mayor's report. I do not have a report this evening. Item 8, council member reports. This is a portion of our meeting where council members report out on other goings-on in the community, other groups that they're working with or party to. We'll start with Commissioner Jose remotely. Got a report, Greg?
Thank you, Mayor. I have no report.
Okay, we hope you're feeling better.
Thank you.
Commissioner Glover?
No report, Mayor. Thank you.
Commissioner Gilmartin?
No report, thank you.
Commissioner Calavani?
No report, Mayor. Thank you.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit?
Yep, just one thing, just to save the date for the Grow Foundation's annual golf outing. It will be on September 10th this year, so just save that date and more information shortly. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 10 is our manager's report. We were going to talk about some long-range planning, but we think that would be better done with Commissioner Jose in the room and Commissioner Wallace with us as well, so we're going to punt that. It's not super critical that it happened tonight. We'll catch up with that at our next meeting. Dave, do you have anything else from the manager's standpoint?
No report tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all and good night.